We'll start this evening with Jewel Lotus Flower. If you have a songbook, it's on page 71. There's a jewel lotus flower unfolding deep within your soul. Be a jewel lotus flower unfolding is the highest goal. Mani Om Mani Padme Om Om Mani Om Mani Padme Om Mani Om Mani Padme Om Om Mani Om Mani Padme. There's a jewel lotus flower unfolding deep within your soul. Be a jewel lotus flower unfolding is the highest goal. Mani Om Mani Padme Om Mani Om Mani Padme Om Mani Om Mani Padme Om Mani Om Mani Padme. There's a jewel lotus flower unfolding deep within your soul.
Welcome to Satsang. So tonight we'll be watching a video of Swami Radhananda. And this video is called Polishing the Diamond. And Swami Radhananda did several workshops and gave a couple of different satsang videos on this theme of polishing the diamond. And I was thinking recently about pressure. And at this time, you know, as we navigate through this time of pandemic, I find that there is just a little bit more pressure than usual. Like there's the usual pressure, and I recognize that. And then this year, it just feels like the level has risen. And my first reaction to having to deal with a pressured situation is to resist it and say, no, I don't want to do that. And then I get excited about it and think, oh yeah, I can do that. And then when it comes time to actually do it, then I'm back to the beginning where I'm thinking, but I'm already committed and so I can't get out of it. And anyway, that's my way of dealing with it. And I do recognize every time later that actually that's why I'm here at the ashram, is so that I can be put under pressure. And in that it's also one of the purposes of my life is actually to be under pressure because I want to realize my potential as a human person and as a spiritual person. And so that takes pressure. So in this talk, Swami Radhananda talks about all the different qualities of a diamond and different aspects of the diamond. And in one part, she says that there's, Swami Radha would talk often about the diamond in the rough. And so I have a little story to tell you about my first year here at the ashram. I was juggling my first year teaching in Creston at an elementary school, and I was teaching first graders and kindergarten combination class. And then I was also dealing with being here at the ashram for the very first year of my 2-year commitment. And so one of the weekends when I was doing karma yoga here, it was, lunchtime, and at that time the kitchen was still in main house. I was in main house, it was lunchtime, and one of the long-term residents, she called me aside and said, come over here. And so then she took me into this little hallway. It was just this little teeny hallway between the Hobart room, where we did the dishes, and the can room, where we stored everything, all our food and, I guess, cans. And so we were just like really close, and she says, Swami Radha just was talking about you just now, and she said that you are a diamond in the rough. And she meant it in a good way, like she was like so excited for me. And I took it that way. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm a diamond in the rough. And I just held those words to myself for such a long time. And I totally researched diamonds. I researched any diamond teaching that there was, which I couldn't understand, but I was just so into researching diamonds because I thought, I'm one of those diamonds. And what I realized later is that we're all diamonds in the rough. It's not just me personally, and yeah, and I'm just really grateful to be able to have found this place where I can, just keep uncovering that essential part of myself that shines. So speaking of shining, we're going to have our light ritual. And some of the other words that Radhananda uses in the video talk are words like great brilliance, sparkling luster, clarity, fire, shine, and rainbows. And so I'm going to hold the light out for you, and you can just be thinking about those qualities. So as I hold this symbol for the light, just think of those qualities of the light, and whichever ones resonate for you tonight, just imagine yourself walking through your day, embodying all those qualities of brilliance and shine and fire and rainbows, clarity, indestructibleness. And we'll say the light mantra together. I am created by divine light. I am sustained by divine light. I am protected by divine light. I am surrounded by divine light. I am ever growing into divine light.
Now we'll sing Hey Nanda Nanda Gopal. It's on page 59. Hey Nanda
So I thought we'd all benefit by hearing about the diamond being polished. 'Cause that's sort of what we're constantly doing. I thought to find out what the diamond is. And Swami Radha used that symbol a lot. Like there is the diamonds in the rough and there is the pressure to make the diamonds. And there's, the cutting away and the polishing. And so it's quite a strong symbol. And it, from the dictionary, it says it's noted for its power of refracting light. So there is a power there. There's a great brilliance. There's a sparkling luster. There's clarity. There's fire. In the rough, that's the natural state. And it just needs that polish. And then there's the diamond is forever. It's indestructible. And what part of you is that? What part are we polishing? And so if we're not all of those brilliance and clarity and luster and fire and shining and rainbows, and what's stopping us if that's there and it's indestructible and it's been there forever? How does our ignorance block it? What are the walls that come in front? How do we keep ignorance alive instead of the diamond shining? So, it's usually because we're too busy. We have all these other activities that we think we have to do, and our mind gets really cluttered instead of becoming clear and fiery, brilliant, sparkling. So Swami Radha said, take time to think, take time to be holy. And so 22 people for 5 days had said, this is for me. I want to think deeply. I want to polish something in me that's indestructible. I want to penetrate the secrets of having attained a human birth, which is very rare. And I don't want to regret at the end of my life having frittered this life away. So even making that promise to yourself, even thinking that thought, is going to arouse something in you, some determination. Because if we don't use the power that we're given, somebody else uses it. We don't have to think of going very far to think about people being slaves to something, to someone. You can think in your own mind where you've given your power away, where someone has taken it, where someone is using. It can be very simple. Like, what if somebody does something you don't want them to do or you don't like? To you. Then do you get irritated? Those are the words we use. You get irritated, you get irked, you get bugged. You get on edge, angry, emotional. Your mind is stirred up. And it keeps on, keeps on thinking about that time. That person did something. Or this happened to me. Could have happened decades ago for some people, decades. And it's still, they're carrying it. So they've given their power to that person or that event, and it's like, it could even be something very silly, like, she said this to me, or he did that, or they didn't cook the dinner I wanted, or whatever. Just and that kind of Silliness is like just giving your power away, but you would never think, if you had a diamond, to give it away for that reason. You might not even know that you have the diamond if you keep it covered. You have to start rubbing little places and seeing the sparkles come through and keeping those sparkles. But the diamond won't work. Like, diamonds have this ability to make rainbows, to reflect. How are you going to do that if you don't look after it? How are you going to really see things if you're seeing through a wall or a covering? So if you keep on doing that, demanding and wanting to control the world to what you like and what you would like to happen, instead of developing your ideals about what you are going to become, who you are going to become. So then the energy and the effort's going somewhere else. It's not going out trying to manipulate the whole world or the people next to you or whatever. They're just, the power can go in and start. And if you look at your dreams, that was the first place I thought, this is a miracle. Like, it reflects everything in my life, one dream. I thought, oh my goodness, this is where the diamond lives, somewhere inside there. It has the knowledge, it has this preciseness and this clarity to give me exactly the dream for me, at exactly the place I am, but also that dream will be useful at any time. It's just timeless and eternal and indestructible. So what are you doing with your dreams? Are you listening to that part? What is the message? And then when you begin to uncover that intuitive part, what will it give you? We work so hard at trying to get something, but how do we receive? If we really have that place of intuition, if we really have that place of brilliance, you don't have to make up the dream. You just have to receive it and honor it. So everyone in the whole world has had parents. They know that for sure. And everyone in the whole world has had awful things happen to them. So then there must be something else we're here to deal with, because it's not unusual that our parents weren't perfect. It's not unusual that the world and the events that come to us aren't all that nice. But what else is there? Can we find the diamonds in it? Can we find the diamonds in the life we've lived? Can we bring them to the present and again respect and honor them? Because we just expend a lot of energy then going back. Instead of stepping forward into who we really are. And that way, like, you begin to worry about everything, and then you live in this state of fear, like, well, what are they saying? What is she saying? What are they saying about me? What is happening? What's going to happen to me? And a lot of energy goes into that, just wondering and worrying and anxiousness and fear. So So then you don't have the chance to really function from that intuitive place. And we have the practice, I'm functioning from my center. It just brings that awareness forward, that you have another place, another reason. So what we're after is liberation from those things that hold us back from who we really are. And you can see as people work and work and work on themselves, it's like each workshop, each reflection time, each group time, each class time, a little polishing happens. And it's so intriguing because it's their own stuff that's being wiped away and liberated. And the one thing that you have is to learn to listen. Learn to listen to each other and learn to listen to yourself. Because then when we have a workshop that goes deep, people see each other in extraordinary ways. They recognize how extraordinary everyone is, and they accept themselves as well. So there must be some power in that, in being able to listen. And if you know the Kundalini system, then you know how to grow from that seed of light, that diamond sparkling, tiny place, out into the world, but not be stained by it. The diamond is forever. So during the week, keep in your mind, what do I want to be liberated from, to? What have you already promised yourself, the divine, your spiritual path? What have you already promised? What is your covering? What's the covering of your diamond? What needs to be polished? And if you give the power to your intuition, what will it do for you? Practice it. So all of the things, all of the ideals have to be brought right back into your daily life. So always the teachings come back to you because they have to be your teachings. And so always when we are in this tradition, you have your own way of expression. You have to develop that. So there isn't a right answer. You're delving in there, digging, polishing, bringing forth the diamond and the luster to your life. It's up to you. Namah Shivaya.
So, as we noticed in the video, Swami Radhananda leaves us with so many reflection questions. And right this week we just started having the Hidden Language Teaching Certification course begin. And we've learned how valuable those questions are, like how difficult it is to make a question for reflection that is universal for people and that really embodies our teachings. It's a skill. And so Swami Radha has given us those questions, Swami Radhananda and Swami Lalitananda. And I feel so grateful to have all of their questions, and that way we can all keep polishing our own inner diamond. Namaste.
We'll sing Dance Shiva Dance in Our Hearts. It's on page 39.